is that punt?
Hoskins is not playing. Is this up all the way? Might I need to go up more?
A little bit. A little bit. To your right. To your right. There.
Put that price thing up. I didn't have it up all the way. I come and complain.
Well, somebody better get their knees.
No comment.
Could you pat me down, Susan, please?
You're not even. Mic check, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us, have you got a shot of something? What are we going to show there that I'm going to be talking over?
Comes the anthem.
Open Spanish, baby!
So your earpiece is okay?
Well, I'm just going to lay out for all of that, right? Raiders emerge from their dressing room to once again be a home team for the first time in a long time at this very excited Oakland Alameda County Coliseum filled with enthusiastic fans today. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of the 1995 preseason for the Oakland Raiders. And what an historic day today as the Raiders take on the St. Louis Rams. They come back home for the first time here to Oakland. I'm Rich MAROTTA. I'll be doing the play-by-play. Working alongside me, of course, Hank STRAM. And Hank, the prevailing theme, the boys are back in town.
The balls are pumped up. So the fans, the coaches, the players, Al Davis and his great staff, and so are we.
Yes, we are. You can't help but get pumped up and feel this enthusiasm here today. The game should be just as good, we hope. We're going to have a good game for you. Enjoy it today. Coming up next, it's the Oakland Raiders and the St. Louis Rams. Jaeger, it still does not have the football. I don't need it. Back once again at the Oakland Coliseum, the Raider players feeling for the first time, for most of them in their careers, the roar of the crowd here at the Oakland Coliseum, where today the Raiders take on the St. Louis Rams. The return of the Raiders to Oakland, widely heralded in this area. Jeff Jaeger, of course, getting ready to kick off for the Raiders. Back deep to receive for the Rams, J.T. Thomas and Todd Kenshin. But you're looking at Jaeger, 30 years old in his 9th year in the National Football League. Very reliable kicker for Oakland. Be a little tough to hear in here today. These fans are jacked up. Jager's kick taken by J.T. Thomas, who's going to run it out. Tripped up at the 13-yard line. Patrick Bates made the tackle for the Raiders on J.T. Thomas.
Raiders did a good job last week against Dallas. They held the Dallas Cowboys, with that vaunted rushing attack of theirs, to only 67 yards.
Here's Chris Miller, 9th year out of Oregon, plagued by injuries throughout his career. That was true again with the Rams last year. Suffered a mild concussion last week, but has managed to get himself back together to play. In the backfield, it's Tim Lester and Leonard Russell starting. Miller with his first pass of the day and in trouble. Throws it away. He stumbled a little bit, and the Raiders got a good push on him. Let's take a look at the lineups now for the St. Louis Rams. We mentioned Russell and Lester in the backfield. Former Raider Alexander Wright teams with Isaac Bruce. Ricky Brady replacing Troy Dayton today at the tight end. We'll tell you about that. Wayne Gandy, Leo Goez, Bernd Brostick, Dwayne White, and Daryl Ashmore start left to right across the Rams offensive line. Now there's been a holdup in play here for a moment as we take a look at Rich Brooks with Cleveland Gary back once again for the Rams right behind him. Rich Brooks, last year, a coach of the year in collegiate football for leading the Oregon Ducks to the Rose Bowl. Had a great year last year. Surprised many, many people to say the least. Here we go now on 2nd down and 10. Isaac Bruce in motion. Right to left. Leonard Russell out to the 15-yard line. Pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Greg Beekert makes the tackle for Oakland. And we'll take a look now at the Oakland defense. At the defensive end spots, Nolan Harrison and Pat Swilling. Jerry Ball and Chester McLaughlin start in the middle. We will see Anthony Smith today. The backers, Rob Fredrickson, Greg Beekert, and Mike Jones. And in the defensive secondary for the Raiders, Terry McDaniel and Albert Lewis in the corner. Patrick Bates had one safety, and Joe King steps in. Remember, Derek Hoskins and Eddie Anderson are injured, so Joe King steps into a starting role today for the Raiders. 3rd and 8. Hester in motion, another former Raider. Big push up the middle from Wallace. It's incomplete. Mike Jones breaking the play for the Raiders, and the Rams' first series ends in 3 and out.
Jerry Ball and also McLaughlin really did a good job of getting a good push up front, and that's very, very important to push those offensive linemen back into the quarterback.
Sean Landetta will punt now for the Rams. Daryl Hobbs back deep to receive. He fields it at the 36, straight up the middle. Avoids a man up nearly to midfield before he's snowed under. 49-yard punt by Landetta, a 14-yard return. And the Raiders now will take over the ball for the first time. And there is Jeff Hostetler.
Last week they started the game and wanted to do a good job from a rushing standpoint, and did a super job with 41 rushes for 182 yards. I think they're going to try to get more balance, and they'll probably start the game. They'll pump the ball up and throw it a lot, especially early in this game. Let's see what they do.
Hitler calling signals, 34 years old now in his 12th year. Quick 3-step drop by Haas, and a completion right off the bat for the Raiders to Harvey Williams. As we take a look now at the Raider lineup, Anthony Parker making the stop. Raiders starting Williams and Fenner in the backfield. Tim Brown, Rocket Ismail at the wideout spots. Andrew Glover playing today after sitting last week's game out. Robert Jenkins, Steve Wisniewski, Dan Turk in the middle, replacing the injured Don Mosbar, Kevin Gogan, Greg Strepanak at the offensive line position. 2nd and 5 now for the Raiders. Excellent protection to Glover. Out of bounds at the 34-yard line, and the Raiders are cooking right off the bat.
Yeah, good pass protection, and it's good to see him throw the ball to the tight end. They have to get to him a lot more this season than they did a year ago, and I'm sure that's going to happen, and we'll see a lot of that in this game.
We take a look at the lineups now for the Rams defensively. Gilbert and the rookie Kevin Carter on the outside. Jimmy Jones to Marco Farr in the middle. The backers are Jenkins, Conlon, and Pfeiffer. And the defensive secondary, Light and Parker at the corners, Lyle and White at the safety spots. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. The faker reverse. Williams may have wanted there to hand the ball to Rocket Ismail, and I think he thought better of it. The Rams smelled that one out.
Yeah, they got good penetration. They got good penetration, and anytime there you see him coming up the field, anytime you get penetration when you're trying to go outside, especially on a reverse, you're out of business. It's just like trying to get a haircut over the telephone. You can't do it.
Raiders lose 4 on the play. It's 2nd and 14. Ball in the 38. Score just the start of things. Thanks for being with us here on our Raider Television Network. Raiders now with 3 wide receivers. They're going to do this a lot this year. Here is Derek Fenner. Avoids a man. Brilliant move. Down the left sideline. He goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line inside the 20. And what a move by Derek Fenner on a 19-yard pickup. And man, did he put away Anthony Parker.
He did a good job of reading the defense. It was just a four-man rush. The ball to right arm. Now watch him switch it as he goes along here along the sideline. A terrific job by Fenner, and very, very good blocking downfield by Hobbs.
Excellent block by Hobbs, and man, he really put Parker. If you saw 27 there, he put him away. Raiders first down at the 19. Back to a 2 wide receiver set, 2 tight ends. That's Greg Robinson. Up the middle to the 10-yard line for the Raiders, and a pickup of 8 on the play. Greg Robinson seeing his first action of the preseason. You might remember that he was a outstanding performer for the Raiders in '93. He started the first 12 weeks till suffering a knee injury.
Watch Robinson now. There was some penetration there, and he saw the gap. He saw the cavity, took advantage of it, went through some traffic, and really did a super job of running on the play. Greg Robinson.
Brown wide left, Jet wide right. 2 tight end formation for the Raiders. Robinson again. Touchdown, Raiders! Flag is down. Touchdown will count. It's offside against the Rams. Raider touchdown. Well, Hank, not only is this the return of the Raiders to Oakland, but it's the return of Greg Robinson to the Raider lineup.
And the whole Turk, number 67 to center, really did a super job of blocking. There was a big hole on the left side. He saw it, took advantage of it. Good push by the offensive line, and he jumped right in there for the touchdown.
Well, welcome back, Greg Robinson. Point after is good by Jager. The Raiders have taken the lead. 10:57 to go, first quarter of play. Raiders up 7-0. This is Raiders football. Two runs for Robinson for how?
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Yeah, it was good.
0-0 lead over the St. Louis Rams here in the first quarter. Boy, they moved quick down the field. 6 plays, 51 yards.
They made it look easy. Did a very, very good job from an execution standpoint.
Here's Jager's kick. This will be fielded by Todd Kinchin. Returning left. Running room. Up the left sideline, he's got good speed. Reverses his field. Finally corralled by the Raiders all the way down at the Oakland 37-yard line. A 53-yard run back by Todd Kinchin.
They had a chance to take him over on the left side, but a missed tackle. I couldn't tell who it was. Kinchin did a terrific job of running the kickoff back on the play. Very poor coverage on the part of the Raiders.
Fourth year out of LSU. Kinchin has good speed. He really knows how to accelerate.
Offsides by the kicking team. That penalty is declined. First down.
Looks like Folston had a shot at him there, Hank. Couldn't quite get it done.
Yeah, that's who missed him. Yeah, here's a whole run. Now watch here. Well, he does good running. That's very, very good running, especially when, you know, he cuts back away across the face of a would-be tackler. It's a tough-looking play.
All right, the Rams have Alexander Wright wide right. Isaac Bruce is going in motion now from left to right. Leonard Russell is the remaining back. Chris Miller's still in there, and it's Russell with the ball. Short gain by Leonard Russell up the middle. Brought down by Jerry Ball.
And Ball was in the gap between the center and the guard that last time, and they doubled him. And in spite of that, while they were still able to bounce off the blocks and help on the tackle on the play.
Chester McLaughlin, it looked like earlier in the week, might not go today, but he is playing. Leonard Russell, talented running back. Fifth year out of Arizona State, unrestricted free agent from the Denver Broncos. Played with New England 3 years before that. Fine running back. Russell again, and whistles everywhere.
The coaches like the work of Pat Swilling so far in training camp, and it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts to the defensive end position. He used to be a linebacker, now he's a defensive end, and I think he's going to do a super job. He's always going to be on the weak side meaning that that's the area on the other side of where the tight end lines up.
The Raiders call that their OE position, and that gives him a chance to get out in space a little bit, Hank, and get some room and really go for it. Penalty marked off against the Rams for a false start. Rams go to 3 wide receiver. And Leonard Russell is slowed under. Pat Swilling, the tackle, and a host of other Raiders there to help him out.
Swilling is very quick off the ball. We see him there, and he comes in and gets the penetration and makes a good tackle here. Watch Swilling. Wraps him up and gives him the old pancake shot. Knocks him down on the play. Very good play by Pat.
30 years old, Swilling signed as an unrestricted free agent for the Raiders back in April. Raiders go to a nickel package now. Miller going to fire deep. Got it away at the last second by Terry McDaniel. Brilliant play. McDaniel and King were there defensively to make sure that ball did not nestle in the arms of Alexander Wright.
That's why he's an all-pro. Good coverage on the play. Look at McDaniels. Look at it. And he leaps, gets a good jump on the receiver, knocks the ball down. Great job by the right corner. Or the left corner, I should say.
Hank, the Rams have run 6 offensive plays for a total of 0 yards.
I tell you, that defensive line of the Raiders is just overwhelming the offensive line so far of the Rams.
McDaniel, a brilliant talent. Hobbs is going to run away from this one, let it bounce, and it's going to take a Ram bounce, and it'll be downed inside the 10-yard line. In fact, inside the 5. So things going the Raiders' way so far here in Oakland. They lead at 7-0. This is Raiders football. Head coach Mike White.
Going back to Bay Area, going back to Northern California, where actually I was born and raised, and then being the head coach of the Raiders is a dream come true. And it almost sounds corny, but I think we all envision our professional lives, you know, having the opportunity to do something in front of your peers or an area where you were raised. So I'm really excited, and I know we have loyal fans all over the country. We really have, and so it's nice to go back to Oakland and see what kind of support we're going to get there.
Well, Well, judging from today so far, the support is not only going to be in big numbers, but loud as well.
You might see something up on top in this area. Let's see. There it is, boys.
Big rush, though, and Hostetler managed to get it off. Man, he was pressured from the defensive right side by the outstanding rookie Kevin Carter, who was drafted by the Rams for exactly that reason. He can really rush the passer.
Yes, he got penetration so fast that really Hostetler didn't really get an opportunity to get back. See, it was a very poor fake, and as a result, he gets hit from the backside, and that's what happened.
2nd and 10 now from the 11-yard line. Big Robinson again, big yardage. Robinson is running wild here. 13 yards on the play. He's got 3 carries, 32 yards.
Not only that, he's making a lot of yardage. Watch it now, a deep handoff into the backfield. And look at him running with the ball away from pressure in the right arm. Does a good job of getting as much as he possibly can on that run.
Todd Light and Carlos Jenkins combined to bring him down. Right on the first down now.
And Light 41 was trying to scrape the ball loose, which is very good defense.
There might be a little mix-up on the Raiders in the backfield now as Hostetler still manages to complete the pass to Tim Brown. Short pickup on the play of about 5 yards. Roman Pfeiffer brings down Tim Brown.
The other thing that's interesting, we're watching the Raiders utilize a lot of variation from an offensive formation standpoint. A combination of a lot of things, and as a result, they hope that they can create a moment of indecision, a moment of doubt on a part of the defense, and take advantage of that indecision.
Tim Brown may have been the best wide receiver in the American Football Conference last year. Pro Bowl starter in the last 2 years. Raiders have their backs offset this time. On 2nd down, Haas's pass is intercepted. Anthony Parker up the right sideline, inside the 30, out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Flags down, and we will wait to see, first of all, what the penalties are and whether or not the interception by Anthony Parker will count. There's Hostetler, concerned, of course, after throwing that interception. Look, the movement appeared to come from the defensive right side. You saw it on the left side of your screen.
That's what it looked like, exactly.
Offside by the defense, number 93. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Kevin Carter, the rookie, jumping. That's what happens with rookies. They make one big play, and the next thing you know, they're killing you.
Well, no, the other thing about that kind of a guy, he's got so much talent and quickness that he's very anxious to get that penetration, and sometimes he doesn't time the rhythm of the count, and that's what happens.
But long arms, very quick feet. Number 1 draft pick of the Rams.
You very seldomly see a slow guy get offside.
2nd and 1 now for Oakland. A minute 7:41 to go, first quarter of play. Here's Harvey Williams, and he is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. DeMarco Farr, Roman Pfeiffer, and Toby Wright combining for the tackle for the Rams. Harvey Williams in his 5th year in the NFL, but his 2nd year with the Raiders. Just missed being a 1,000-yard man for the Raiders, even though he never started until the 7th game for the Raiders. Slashing, versatile runner. Gives you a lot of those pickups in the 10 to 15-yard range.
And the nice thing about him, too, he's developed into a very good receiver along with the running aspect of it.
Raiders have 3 wides now. Rocket, Brown, and Darryl Hobbs. First down, Raiders on the completed pass to Tim Brown. Across the 35 to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10.
Timmy was in a slot on the left side. Number 81 went in motion. Went to the right side in motion. Here he comes off the line of scrimmage. Look at this. He gets bumped, but he reads the linebacker terrifically well. Instead of going outside, he breaks inside. It might have been an option route, and he makes the reception on the play.
Nice block on the play by Robert Jenkins of the Raiders, starting at the left tackle position, replacing Gerald Perry today. From the 37 on 1st down. Great play action fake by Hostetler. Completed pass. We're going to have a penalty coming, however. That reception made by Kerry Cash, new Raider tight end here. And it could be a holding. It will be a holding call against the Raiders.
Yeah, that's one thing, talking to the coaches, that they hope that they could do a good job of getting the ball to the tight ends in this game, which is very important from the overall from a balance standpoint is very, very important, because if they double the outside receivers, then you have to throw to the tight end or to the back.
Raiders started off last week with a victory over Dallas 27-14. The Rams were beaten by Seattle 34-20. The Rams are trying to break a 10-game preseason losing streak. You're looking at Joe Bugle there.
And what a good job Joe has done, along with Bill Meyer, with the offensive line.
3 wide for the Raiders. We're going to see that, I think, more this year than we ever had before. Intercepted. This one will count, and finally brought out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Keith Lyle. And the Rams now are in business. They mark the ball back to the 23-yard line. Keith Lyle makes the pick, second-year player out of Virginia.
He throws through the lane, and most people think you throw. Boy, that was a great interception. That was just a great interception. Here's the throw again, and watch the interception. Look how low. He still dives for the ball right before it hits the ground and comes up with it, and gives the Rams an opportunity with great field position.
Raiders still going with their first team defense in now. The Rams now bring in a newly acquired H-back, Marv Cook. Team up with Leonard Russell, and it's Cook leading the blocking up the left side for Russell, and a short gain for Russell, probably about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Swilling that time, playing on the split inside, away from the tight end. Got good penetration and forced the play inside, and they were able to make the stop without much yardage on the play.
Swilling was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1989. 2 years later, at that big sack year, 17. Rams keep Marv Cook in there as the H-back. He'll lead the blocking on a lot of the Ram runs.
And he's a very sure-handed receiver.
And in fact, he's the ball right now. Up the right sideline, brought down at the 5-yard line by Patrick Bates. 14-yard gain on the play.
He's a possession kind of a receiver. Protects the ball extremely well once he makes the reception. Here's a good look at it. Got the ball away from pressure. Coming down the sideline, look at him lower the shoulder, try to get underneath the shoulder pads of the defensive back, and picks up a nice gain on the play.
1st and goal from the 5-yard line. There you can see that Marv Cook has had some pretty impressive numbers. Actually, he's been in the Pro Bowl twice in his career, 91 and 92. Russell, nowhere. Loss on the play. Raiders dominated the line of scrimmage on that play. Jerry Ball, Nolan Harrison, Willie Brock combining on the inside to make that tackle.
Yeah, Jerry Ball is full inside. He's 315, low center of gravity. You know, he was a great shot putter in high school and threw the shot put farther than anybody in the country. I think his senior year.
He's a very strong guy. 315, Hank might be being a little generous there. He still has some weight to lose during the course of this training camp. But he can play. Inside the 5, very short gain to Marv Cook. And that will bring up 3rd and goal now. Mike Jones. Inside 3 minutes to play.
Michael Jones, number 52.
Rams go to 3 wide receivers. It's Isaac Bruce in motion right behind Miller. The ball to Johnny Bailey. And he is popped down by Mike Jones. Rams will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Great defensive stand by Oakland.
Yeah, it really is. They got to be excited about it. We just get a picture of the defensive coordinator, John Fox. He's got to be happy about the way they responded in that short yardage situation in the goal line.
Steve McLaughlin, a rookie who was a third-round draft pick, the highest that the Rams drafted a kicker, will attempt the field goal. It's a 22-yard field goal attempt for McLaughlin. The kick is good, and the Rams are on the scoreboard. 1:57 to go in the first quarter. Raiders 7, Rams 3. This is Raiders football. Return here to Oakland. They have the field here lined up the way it will be during the course of the preseason, Hank, with the baseball configuration from the Oakland A's still out here. They will change the direction of the field and move it the other way, however, once we get into the regular season.
And once the baseball season is over, they're going to add 3,000 seats, and those 3,000 seats will be available for sale this Monday.
So you may want to call the Raiders and inquire about those. There will be seats available still because of that. Here's the quick kick by McLaughlin. And this is Ty Montgomery. First through two guys up to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line.
That was a very good return because it was very decisive. He made a decision, made his cut, right or wrong. You got to make the cut and take off.
John Reese makes the tackle. Raiders lead at 7-3. This is Raiders football. If you have that available, you can push it up and hear the Spanish-speaking broadcast. First and 10 for the Raiders. Ball on the 26. Hostetler stays in there. He'll run another series for Oakland.
That time they have two tight ends in the game, one back, and they do that with the idea that everybody gets a hat on everybody. You get 7 on 7, and it's up to the offensive lineman to get some kind of a split for back to jump inside or outside on the play. The Rams played very well.
The back in that case being Napoleon Kaufman. Greg Robinson comes back into the lineup for the Raiders. So the two Raider backs now will be Kaufman and Robinson. Raiders go to 3 wideouts. James Jett wide left, Tim Brown inside him on the left side, Darryl Hobbs on the right. Second and 12. This is Kaufman. Dangerous after he makes the catch, to be sure. Across the 30, the 31-yard line. Todd Light brings him down. And there's a penalty flag down.
That's a good job on the part of Hostetler. He's looking downfield, and when you do that, they anticipate you're throwing the ball deep. The linebackers get good drops, and then you dump off to the back just like he did and pick up a nice gain on the play.
Offsides by the defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Repeats, second down.
That's DeMarco Farr, second-year player out of Washington, is called for the offside penalty, and that'll help the Raider cause here. Make it 2nd and 5 now.
And Hodge is 4 of 6 so far in the game. Not a lot of yardage, but good completion record.
Jett and Brown wide right. Hobbs is wide to the left this time. Again, it's Kaufman and Robinson in the backfield. Parker came up to play Hobbs tight and then dropped off. Tim Brown, short pickup. Well, we're seeing some of the quicker underneath stuff today by the Raiders. We'll see some of this year.
Well, you know, a lot of it is a read, and it all is contingent on what happens to the defense. Now, here's Tim Brown taking a step upfield and breaking to the outside underneath the coverage. Not much yardage on the play. Just a short gain.
Hostetler is 5 of 7, 1 interception, 31 yards through the air for the Raiders. Raiders again have moved very well on the ground, especially Greg Robinson today. Jett left, Hobbs right, timeout Raiders.
Timeout, Oakland.
Well, they
That's
burned a
their first
timeout
charge.
12 seconds before the end of the quarter there, Hank.
Yeah, there was some indecision on that. They finally made a call. At least they finally got it done. See, that's the great thing about being able to run. If you run, the defensive line and linebackers continue to get up there a little closer, and as a result, then they start to blitz sometimes too on the early downs, and that's when you have to be able to read the coverage and take advantage of the big play, speed of the outside receivers of the Raiders.
Raiders have had an overwhelming home field advantage here at the Oakland Coliseum. 786 win percentage. I guess you were the victim of that a couple of times, Hank.
Yes, and we can show the Chiefs on the other side, and just the opposite in that direction in some cases.
All right, big play now for the Raiders, 3rd and 2. Leading at 7-3. Big rush right up the middle, and Hostetler is sacked. The rush came up the middle from Carlos Jenkins.
And he was blitzing on the play. Nobody touched him. It didn't look like anybody touched him on the play.
This might be a big pickup for the Ram defense this year. Jenkins, an unrestricted free agent from Minnesota.
Watch him now. Jenkins does a good job of wrapping him up.
So the first quarter comes to an end with a big play for the St. Louis Rams. We have come to the end of the first period of play with the score. The Oakland Raiders 7, the St. Louis Rams 3. This is Raiders football. 7-3 as we get ready to start the second quarter of play. The Raiders on 4th down now will punt. Here is Jeff Gossett booting it away. Todd Kinchin back to field the punt, and he takes it at the 34-yard line. Dodges it's away from another, comes across the 45 to the 46-yard line, and Todd Kinchin is doing a very nice job today. That a 12-yard return. Remember, he had that big return earlier for the Rams. Hank, we take a look at the first quarter statistics. Big edge for the Raiders in just about every category. Total yards 63 to 26. First downs 5 to 1. Rams take over now, 1st and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line. They're going to leave Chris Miller in. He did not get the work that they wanted last week. Came out with a concussion.
And they got a new helmet today with better cushion inside the helmet. And they're very eager to find out whether that's going to be the solution to the problem.
I understand it's actually got a pump in there. Pumped it up like the shoe.
Yeah, they took it over to the filling station, got it pumped up, and then put it back over.
Marv Cook out of bounds, brought down by Albert Lewis. A brilliant Raider cornerback who such a welcome addition a year ago to the team. Chris Miller, 9th year out of Oregon, mobile, talented guy, but injury prone. Ended up last year being the lowest rated quarterback in the NFC in terms of those quarterback ratings.
When he first came into the league, he looked very, very much like Bob Greasy. About the same size, same style, good play action, enough movement. Now he's been handicapped somewhat because of the injuries that he's had.
2nd and 2 for St. Louis. Isaac Bruce in motion. Completed pass to tight end Ricky Brady.
They like Brady, and of course, Drayton is a terrific tight end, and I think those two guys will catch a lot of balls during the course of this season for the Rams.
Drayton unfortunately fell victim this week, one of many St. Louis players, I understand, to the real humidity there. They had 18 guys this week had to go on IVs due to the humidity in their training camp, and Drayton was severely hit, and that's why he was not starting today.
Yeah, that's steam heat in St. Louis about this time of the year, just like it used to be in Kansas City, and probably is in Kansas City.
Here's Jerome Bettis spinning at the line of scrimmage, tripped up by Chester McLaughlin.
Talked to Jerome on the field before the game. He didn't know for sure whether he would participate in this contest, and he said he was going to ask the coach and see if he was going to play or not. Evidently, they decided to give him another work.
You know, he still had impressive numbers in terms of his total yards last year, over 1,000 yards, Hank, but it did not match up to what he had done as a rookie the year before.
Well, it had nothing to do with his running, an awful lot to do with the blocking or lack of same. It's funny how people all of a sudden start talking about the inefficiency of the back, and he's going to run the place if there's no place to go.
Miller steps up. In trouble. Mike Jones corrals him. Sack.
Mike Jones is doing a good job out here this afternoon. Good reaction, good angle of pursuit, and good good tackle. He wraps him up and knocks him down. Watch Miller now, play action. Look at the penetration on the outside. He takes off and run with it, and there's Mike Jones making a tackle. Here we see him again. Coming from the back, and you know, the other great thing about it is, see his right arm, right hand. He's trying to scrape the ball loose, but Miller's gone through that many times and protected it very well.
At the tight end, Brady in motion. Swilling is knocked down, giving Miller some time, but it's an incomplete anyway. Trying to go to Isaac Bruce downfield. It was a good block on Pat Swilling as he came from the defensive right. Rich Brooks likes what he sees across the way, although Brooks is not exactly expressive on the sidelines as he watches the game.
No, no, I go way out in the limb and say he's not very animated.
No. That's the most emotion right there, scratching his head we've seen from him in a couple of weeks. Landetta to punt now, and Darrell Hobbs standing on the 10-yard line. That's more or less his line of demarcation.
And Landetta is a great punter, a two-step kicker, which means he gets the ball away very quickly, and as a result, he's hard to block.
28-yard punt by Landetta. Raiders will take over at the 11-yard line when we return. They lead at 7-3. This is Raiders football. We're at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. I'm Rich Marotta along with Hank STRAM. Raiders lead the 7-3 in the second quarter of play, and the Raiders keep their first team offensive unit in there.
See if they try to go up on top here. There they go.
That's exactly what they're going to do, Hank, but the pass is underthrown, intended for Kerry Cash. Kerry Cash comes to the Raiders this year as a free agent. Last year caught 16 balls with Indianapolis. He was moved more or less into a blocking role last year with Indianapolis once they got Marshall Faulk, but he was a good pass receiver.
Yes, that's right. Exactly right. And Haas is 5 of 7 so far, but they really like to get him a lot of passing work in this game. He only threw 2 times last week, and they like for him to throw about 15 in this game and then get out of the game, but he's only thrown 7 so far.
Raiders have a 3 wide receiver formation, but the one on the far left is Greg Robinson. Hostetler in trouble. There's some of that athletic mobility of his. And again, throws behind the intended receiver there, Andrew Glover.
Glover looked like he was in a pretty good position, but he slipped on the terrain, and as a result didn't make the catch. Watch Hostetler twinkle toe around in that pocket. Good vision. Jumps out to the outside, and he still is beyond the line of scrimmage, so he can throw the ball like he did. It's incomplete, however, to Glover.
You saw number 21, Ty Montgomery. He's playing wide receiver this year. Was a running back last year with the Raiders. He's split out wide to the right. Raiders again with a 3 wide receiver formation. Completed pass to Coughlin, but he's going to be out of bounds well in advance of the first down marker, and the Raiders are going to have to punt it away. The Rams are going to getting things going in their direction in terms of position.
Yeah, they're doing a good job defensively, and they're playing it too deep, and the middle looks like it's going to be wide open, and they've got to take advantage of that. They've got to throw the ball to the tight end in the middle or one of the backs. Big cavity in that area.
Jeff Gossett, low snap, nearly blocked. Penalty flag down. Kitchen at the 38. That slip cost them a possible return. 48-yard punt by Gossett, who may be the oldest punter, but he can still boom it away, showing no signs of slowing down.
Gossett's a great athlete. You know, he's a baseball player and played third base. He was on a farm team for the Mets.
I believe we're going to have an illegal man downfield penalty against the Raiders. The Rams have pretty good field position here and may elect to stay right where they are. Rams nearly got a block on the middle that time.
An eligible receiver downfield by the kicking team, number 25. It's a 5-yard penalty, re-kick, on 4th down.
That's Dan Land, and so they will re-kick it.
Yeah, they're going to hope to get, with this situation like it is, they already have pretty good field position, but great illustration of what preseason does, and this is a live situation that provides them with an opportunity to rehearse the kicking team and also the punt return team.
Low snap again. Kinchin fields it at the 42. He's finds some room along the right side. Kinchin doing a great job today in special teams. Really returning the ball well. 16-yard return by Todd Kinchin after the 48-yard punt. And again, we have a penalty marker down. John Fox and Mike White talking it over on the sideline. Behind them, you see 17, Mike Bellamy, a Raider wide receiver hopeful, thinking, put me in, coach.
Mike Morton, number 50, did a good job of making a tackle on that return.
And eligible downfield, number 50 on the kicking team. And penalty is declined. St. Louis ball, 1st down.
Now they said that's enough practice. Let's take the ball right where we've got it here, which is in great position for the Rams to start their drive. The Raider 43-yard line. We've got 11:02 to go in the first half of play. Raiders top by 4 early in the game. Their first drive, 6 plays, 51 yards. Greg Robinson took it in from 10 yards out. The Rams answered with a Steve McLaughlin 22-yard field goal. That's the way the first quarter ended at 7-3. And Rams now, after the punt return by Kinchin, have the ball at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Chris Miller remains the Ram quarterback. It's Marv Cook in motion. They like to run behind him, and that's Jerome Bettis, and he's going nowhere. Jerome Ball, Jerry Ball, and Joe King combining for the tackle. Ball just, he fills a big gap there. He's a big guy.
He's one of those like a destruction ball, knocking on those buildings. It's hard to move him. He's got great leverage, good balance.
Jerome Bettis, just 2 years into his career, at the start of his 3rd, was a holdout here at the beginning of the preseason. Did not play last week. Got in his first workouts this week.
Oh, they got the blitz going.
But Miller got it away and got a completion to Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, they didn't get there soon enough on the blitz, and as a result, you're going to wind up with 1-for-1 coverage. And that time, Bruce made the outside move and made the reception. Here you see, watch it, going back into the pocket. See, they're blitzing on the play. Get there late. And Bruce does a good job of making the catch.
They have a lot of hope for this Isaac Bruce. They feel he can really help the team. They lost Flipper Anderson to free agency, Hank, so they need somebody to step up. They think this might be the kid.
Yeah, watching him on films, he looks like he's a very, very fluid receiver with good hands and a good knowledge and understanding of the passing game.
We have had a timeout called here. Timeout called with 9:52 to go in the first half. Raiders continue to lead by 4. This is Raiders football. Pass and call now because operators are standing by. Jerome Bettis fumbles the football, picked up, recovered by the Raiders. Bates. Bates has blockers in front of him. Gets a big block in front of him. Bates may go all the way. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. A 45-yard fumble recovery and return by Patrick Bates.
See, that's what happens. A great back that Jerome Bettis is without practice. But without repetition, you get hit like that.
He got a big block, too, from James Trapp in front of him.
And look at this. The ball goes out the side. He didn't have it snug enough inside. His elbow was not close to his body, and it popped right on the outside. And look at Bates now, bringing it down the sideline.
Boy, Trapp really opened a door for him with a beautiful block out in front.
Swilling was out there in front also. Didn't have a chance to throw a block, however.
Now the Raiders with a first down at the 27-yard line.
Look at the left side running wise. Man, they got a hole there.
We'll see if they go in that direction now. Hostetler is looking right. Quick completion to James Jett.
They were a man short over the tight end on the left side. It had been like Steele trying to run over there because there's nobody there.
There's a little dispute down there because it looked like DeMarco Farr may have been a little too aggressive with Haas after the pass. Haas got right in his face.
You got a bump and run on the left side. They ought to try to go up on top and take advantage of that bump and run. Let's see if they do. No, that's a crossing back. Well, they hit him anyhow, but across where the traffic is.
And that was Darrell Hobbs in the middle. Now he drops the football. That's picked up by Todd Light, but the ball was already marked down, and the play was dead. No fumble.
That time they had a 1-1 on the outside, it looked like. And I thought perhaps they would try to go up on top. They ran a crossing pattern. Watch Hobbs comes down and then breaks underneath the linebackers and has to stop to make the reception. He gets hit. The ground cannot cause a fumble, and as a result, why that was not a fumble.
So the Raiders now face a 3rd and 6 with the ball on the 22-yard line. Fenner and Robinson are the backs. Raiders again with 3 wide receivers. And
Bump and run again on the right side over the left receiver. Another crossing back.
Wide open is Greg Robinson. Down to the 5-yard line, carrying tacklers with him all the way to the 3-yard line. 20 yards.
See, that time the receiver on the left side took the corner across the middle, and as a result, the back was wide open in the flat. Linebacker coming from the inside, but he does a great job of running on the play. And another big opportunity for the Raiders.
Many have forgotten about Greg Robinson, but they'll remember now. Raiders in an I formation here. They've got Bender at the fullback, and they put Derek Fenner at the top, at the eye of the tailback.
Play action.
The fake is to Fenner, the pass in the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders! Kevin Smith.
That's a good call. That was a very good call by the coaches because it had a double tight. It looked like, obviously, a run formation, and there's not a better formation to throw play action than the I formation. They took advantage of it, and now it looks like they're going to...
Hey, Hank, how great is that for Kevin Smith? His dad, Charlie, was an Oakland Raider here back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, he's all smiles. A nice touch pattern, too, over the top by Hostetler.
Point after by Jager is good. Raiders extend their lead to 11 points now at 14-3. But that's a big moment for Kevin Smith out at UCLA. His dad, Charlie, was a running back here in Oakland from 1968 through 1974.
Watch again. The I formation is basically a run formation. They play action off of it, and he gets open, makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown. Look at the nice touch on the ball.
Look at us. He's getting a big kick out of that one, isn't he, Hank?
Well, I would think so. I would think so. The defensive back on the coverage never even looked once at the ball. He was in pretty good position. He threw right over the top of him with his back to Hostetler.
Oakland leads it 14-3. There you get a good shot behind the Raiderettes of the crowd here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. And there's Haas and Chester McLaughlin talking it over. I think Haas may be done for the day now, Hank, but he put in a good day's work while he was in there.
Yeah, I think probably I see the hook coming in from the sky to take him out of the game.
Actually, the ball is still pretty soon.
They don't want to keep in there too long.
No, Kevin, I mean, you know, I saw all these people up, and I think he was wide open. I just had no idea
how to spot the wide open guy. Here is Carl Trimble with the return for the Rams out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. And I think that the Raider players now, Hank, are feeding off the enthusiasm of the fans. They're high-stepping it out on the field, and you can see they're feeling it.
Well, I think the fact that they're ahead like they are, that's got to make them feel good. The reaction of the fan is excellent. And, of course, the animation that's been expressed by the players about playing this game has really been outstanding. Good specialty team coverage on the play. Good hit.
Chris Miller remains in there for the Rams. Remember that last drive by the Raiders, set up by the 45-yard fumble recovery and returned by Patrick Bates. Here's Bettis, off right tackle, but really not going anywhere.
You know, I talked to John Fox before the game on the field. I said, how long are you going to let the defense play? And I thought maybe he would say 12 to 15 plays. He said, no, they're going to play 25 because next week we're playing on synthetic turf, and we don't want to use them that much on synthetic turf, so we'll reverse it. Have them play 25 this week, but not as many next week. Now they got the second group in defensively in the game.
Najee Mustafa has come in at a cornerback spot. Chris Crooms is in there in the defensive secondary. And look at that hit by Mustafa. That's Najee Mustafa, number 48. Just blew his man down.
Well, you talk about using the shoulder pads. Very good. The only thing bad about it is you got to wrap them up. Because sometimes you hit a guy if you don't wrap him up. You see, he could continue to run, but that was a great hit.
So the mass substitutions being made now by the Raiders. Mustafa was with Minnesota 87 and 92, with Cleveland in 93. He did not play last year. Pick up a 4 on that play. It's 3rd and 6 now for the Rams. Miller has an open receiver to his left, and he gets it to him. That's Jesse Hester. And it looks like a first down for the Rams.
I'd say there's a lot of good hitting on out there this afternoon by the Raiders and also the Rams. Especially the Raiders. They're really doing a good job in dominating the line of scrimmage. Watch Mustafa now. Again, look at this massage he gives him here. Look at that. Good hit with the shoulder pads and knock. You see, he could continue to run, but that was a great hit.
So the mass substitutions being made now by the Raiders. Mustafa was with Minnesota 87 and 92, with Cleveland in 93. He did not play last year. Pick up a 4 on that play. It's 3rd and 6 now for the Rams. Miller has an open receiver to his left, and he gets it to him. That's Jesse Hester. And it looks like a first down for the Rams.
I'd say there's a lot of good hitting on out there this afternoon by the Raiders and also the Rams. Especially the Raiders. They're really doing a good job in dominating the line of scrimmage. Watch Mustafa now. Again, look at this massage he gives him here. Look at that. Good hit with the shoulder pads and knocks him right out of bounds. You know, Jerome Bettis is really as everybody knows, a great running back. And when he was at college at Notre Dame, I talked to the great Paul Hornung.
And that's Bettis there, Hank.
There he is again. There he is, yeah. And I asked about Jerome, and he said, I'm going to tell you something. We had a lot of great backs at Notre Dame, but none has been or have been better than this kid. You watch what he's going to do in professional football. He was very accurate at his...
Well, was he ever? Bettis came right out as a rookie and averaged just under 5 yards a carry and gained over 1,400 yards.
And he's got a great personality. He's always smiling, loves to play the game, and he weighs 240.
Raider corners now are Mustafa and Bruce Pickens. Miller has the completed pass to Marv Cook. Short gain for the Rams. Brought down by James Holston, Raider second-year linebacker out of Northeast Louisiana, and a second-round draft choice a year ago.
Cook, you know, with nothing fancy, plain vanilla. but he's a solid football player, loves to play the game, and I can't remember ever seeing him drop a pass. Of course, I haven't seen him that many times, but in the games that I've seen him play, he has maintained great possession of the ball and good technique catching the ball.
Yeah, he's a good free agent pickup for the Rams, no question about it. He's played in 96 consecutive games, with to his durability as well.
And Miller so far is 8 of 12.
4 wide now for the Rams. They go to a triple formation right. Here's Miller's pass. It's completed. And that's Alexander Wright, the former Raider, who as an unrestricted free agent went to the Rams this year. He's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And Wright, who has speed to burn, picked that one up for a first down, a big pickup of 25 yards.
He's a lightning rod out there. He's got great speed. Watch it. Reaches out in front, makes the catch. There it is again.
We'll have to wait and see today, Hank, if we ever get Wright matched up against James Trapp. Wright won the NFL fastest man competition 2 years, and then Trapp beat him to win it this year. Reverse, and it's Wright running to the right side, and he is brought down. Bruce Pickens never got fooled on the play, stayed at home there, Hank, and Pickens, who had a big game a week, Dallas comes up with a big play there.
Yeah, we talked about him. We talked about that. Now he stays at home. He doesn't chase. That's his responsibility. Look at, he's forcing him, trying to force him inside. He goes outside, wraps him up, makes a great big tackle. And, you know, that's one of the knocks he had at Atlanta. They said he wouldn't tackle, wasn't a tough kid, but I certainly haven't seen that in the times I've seen him play.
Pickens is making himself a factor in the whole equation with the Raiders this year. 2nd and 11, a loss of 1 in that reverse. Incomplete. Good pressure over the middle, and now they're going to say it's too much pressure by Morton, the Raider linebacker, and they're going to call pass interference on the rookie.
Pickens is a great illustration of the kind of talent Al Davis loves to get. He knows that he was picked number 1. He had to have great talent. Sometimes you don't express that talent at some places. He picks him up, and he looks like he's going to be a fine addition to this team.
So Morton penalty.
Pass interference against the defense, number 50. It's an automatic first down at the spot.
That's only the 3rd penalty against the Raiders. They did a much better job than what we saw last season, Hank, last week against Dallas. They've got 3 penalties so far today.
Well, they had only three in the whole game last week, and they've only got 3 so far, so they've really improved dramatically. And the coaches came into the season with the anticipation of making sure that they improve of their football team.
1st and 10 at the 27. Right to the left-hand side. Isaac Bruce is out there to the right side. Miller throws underneath. And let's see if it bounced first. It looked like it hit the ground to me, and that's what they call. It was intended for Ricky Brady, the tight end, who joined the Rams right at the end of last year after being cut earlier in the season.
Here we get a look at it. It clearly bounces on the play, and of course it's incomplete.
Chris Miller, in his 9th year out of Oregon, has completed 9 of 14 passes so far for 84 yards. He's really a talented guy. If this guy could ever go through 16 games uninjured, it would be a big plus.
He's a great competitor also, you know, and sometimes instead of sliding, he'll lower the shoulder. Look at that.
That's Isaac Bruce going in all the way for a touchdown, running away from Raider tacklers. Isaac Bruce, the kid we told you about, on to fill the hole left by the departure of Flipper Anderson, takes it all the way, 26 yards for a touchdown, Rams.
He really looks like he's going to be a classy. Watch him, just a 3-step drop, throws the ball inside, and look at this. Look at the speed. He just runs. Good straight arm also. I couldn't tell who he did it to, but excellent performance by Bruce on that reception. And of course, Miller gets it right on the money between the numbers on that reception.
And now the rookie McLaughlin with the extra point attempt, and it is good. Although the Raiders are saying that it was no good. The Raider players were all complaining to the officials down there that it was wide, but that's not what they called. The Raider lead now cut to 4 points at 14-10. This is Raiders football. year.
Last year was extremely, a lot of Mondays and Tuesdays that it was tough getting out of bed. But I think the change in philosophy is going to be real helpful, and the fact that we're not going to be a team that just goes back and drops back 7 steps, sits there, holds the ball, and waits for that 25-yard in cut. We need to get rid of the ball a lot quicker, help our linemen out, help our backs, help our wide receivers, and I think it's going to be real positive.
Haas completed 9 of 14 for his day's work. Here's Ty Montgomery now fielding the kickoff at the 8-yard line. Needs a block and couldn't find one. Brought down at the 24-yard line. The Raiders will put it into operation. 1st and 10. They begin to change up now on their offensive line.
I think Evans will be the quarterback. Hobart played last week, and I think probably they'll do it with Evans. With a substitution. Let's see what happens.
Yes, it is Vince Evans. As you described him, a miracle man last week, Hank. He's really something. 40 years old.
He's a wonder. I tell you, he's a wonder. I remember when he played with the Chicago Bears, and I liked him at that time. And, of course, he had a great career in California. He's a terrific athlete.
Came into the National Football League in 1977. High formation with Fenner and Greg Robinson in the backfield, and it is Robinson who gets the call. Off left guard for 3 yards, brought down by Thomas Humko.
I tell you, take it. Oh, I thought we were going to get a shot here. Okay.
Here's Vince. Take a look at his
Montgomery.
numbers. You know, Hank, Vince Evans played quarterback for the Bears in the last game that was played here at the Oakland Coliseum in 1981 against the Raiders.
You know, I was in New Orleans at the time, and it looked like Vince was going to be available. We were thinking about taking him at that time.
After a mix-up on the snap and a fumble, the Raiders end up going nowhere on that busted play. John Kirksey breaking the play up along with Stokes. Now the Raiders will change up. They bring Ty Montgomery in. They bring in Napoleon Kaufman. Raiders now have Barrett Robbins at the center. So Dan Turk's work is done, apparently, at least at the center spot for the Raiders. John Melander is right next to Robinson. Barrett Robbins, rather. Melander was recently obtained by the Raiders. Started 15 games with the Denver Broncos. Freeman, another former Bronco. Raiders lead by 4. This is Raiders football. Coming up at halftime, a news update from your local station. Then Hank and I will bring you highlights and a recap of the first half. We have reached the 2-minute warning. The Raiders on top, 14-10, leading St. Louis. And look at the excitement and enthusiasm here from the fans in attendance at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Raiders left here after the 81 season. In 1989, they came back here and played one preseason game. It was a wild scene that day.
A lot of fond memories. A lot of sad ones, too.
Here's Vince Evans now on 3rd down for the Raiders. Napoleon Kaufman up to the 27-yard to the 1st down. Thomas Homko making the tackle on Napoleon Kaufman. Homko's kind of a wild man out there. He played very well, I remember, in the game, the preseason game against the Raiders last year at Anaheim Stadium.
Yeah, you have to say he's a very, very aggressive player.
Randall on Chris back this time to receive. He gets it at the 35, avoids a first man, quick step, avoids another, comes up to the 45-yard line. Finally brought down by Morton and Folston. Penalty flag on the play, 38-yard punt, and a 10-yard return. I don't think the Raider coaches will be too happy with what's going on in special teams today, Hank. They've had several punts returned for, 10, 15 yards, and a kickoff, of course, a long way.
Yeah, that's right. And, of course, you're playing against a great return guy, especially early, but that's an excuse rather than a reason. They have to do a good job of making coverage, staying in their lanes, and this is why, that it's important to play preseason games because they get that kind of rehearsal live against other competition. Hard to practice that in practice.
That was also the third time, by the way, as we take a look at Folston, who made the tackle on that play. The third time the Raiders have had an ineligible man downfield on a punt, releasing too early.
Yep.
So that is an area certainly that will be attended to. The Raiders have utilized officials in their training camp this year to get more game-like conditions so that players can get a feel really for more situations where they won't get called for penalties this year. Anthony Smith is in at defensive end now for the Raiders as the pass is completed to Alexander Wright by Chris Miller. In fact, it was Anthony Smith who got the rush from the defensive right side on Miller.
And Miller got back in the pocket nicely and threw a rope. Watch coming off the ball here. Number 94.
He did a great job there on Wayne Gandy, Hank.
Miller got a little facial as soon as he got the ball, got rid of the football that time. A little massage. Right in the smush.
You think Anthony could work in a barber shop? 44-yard line, first down. Miller did a nice job of completing the pass, though, on the play. This time he puts it out much too high. Probably throwing it away there because Bruce Pickens had the dangerous Johnny Bailey covered very well.
You have to, we talked about him earlier, but you have to like what you've seen, what we've seen so far of Pickens.
Absolutely.
Really been very, very outstanding.
Pickens, 5'11", 195 pounds, fourth year out of Nebraska. Played last year at Kansas City. Hank told you that he played in Atlanta, also Green Bay, so he's already made the rounds. But if he keeps playing like this, Hank, he's going to find a home.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can play. But there again, you always have to be aware of talent. And I mentioned it. Oh, here comes a blitz.
And it forced Miller to get rid of the ball quickly. It was Morton on the blitz.
Yep. He got a whiff of the blitz that time. Miller did, and didn't have a chance to set and throw the ball at all. Just wanted to get rid of it so he wouldn't get sacked. That's the experience of a quarterback who's been in the league for an extended period of time like Chris Miller.
Rams also have Mark Rippon and as their backup quarterbacks.
We'll probably see Rippon in the second half.
3rd and 10 now from the 40, just inside the 44-yard line. Alexander Wright is wide left, matched up one-on-one against Najee Mustafa. Miller waiting for him over there. Now has to roll out. He couldn't get him open. Miller diving for the first down. Did he make it?
I mean, there's a good illustration. He's diving for the first down. He had a last week with the schoolhouse, getting a little dizzy. He got a new helmet on, and he still did everything he could to make the necessary yardage for the first down. Look at this now. Look at him take off and run. He better put the ball in the other arm. Somebody's going to scrape it loose, but he finally tucks it in. And
he did not get the first down, Hank. He fell just about a yard short. He was reaching for it.
And he got hit from the backside, and I think he downed it.
And they're going to go for it now on 4th and 1, and Miller wants timeout. Miller came up to the line of scrimmage and called timeout. And they'll talk it over. This will be one of these short 40-second. Next year, there will be an additional 15,000 seats here, Hank. As soon as the season is over, major renovation is going to take place here at the Coliseum. They're going to do a tremendous job. They're going to knock those center field seats out, put in bleachers that will come and give all the fans a very close look at the action, turn the field around, of course, for the configuration for football.
You know, the great thing about it also is you have to give a lot of credit to the people here involved with the Raiders in Oakland. They've done a terrific job of putting this together in a very...
It's what we were talking about last week when we said the whole situation of the move from Los Angeles to Oakland, basically one of facilities, not fans in Los Angeles, but facilities, and they got what they want here. Miller's pass completed, first down. Alexander Wright in front of Bruce Pickens, cut in front of Pickens, and nice job of drilling it in there.
Well, the thing that he did that time, he threw it low. You see, right below the number, and it's hard for a defensive back coming from the backside to do anything. If the ball's thrown perfectly, there's no way to stop that kind of a pass.
Clock is running inside a half minute to play in the first half. Wright's got it again, and Alexander Wright is enjoying a very big first half against his former teammates as he goes out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
You know, the other thing about it is he made one of the toughest catches there is to make in football. Look how low the ball is thrown. Usually he really will catch that, but look how low it is, and he still scoops it up. Does a great job and has the presence to go out of bounds on the play. Terrific catch by Wright.
Wright has caught 4 passes now, 47 yards. It is 2nd and 4 for St. Louis. 25 seconds to go in the half. Raiders lead it 14-10.
They get a bump and run on the outside. Now they're backing off. They ought to be able to throw in front.
Miller going to go for it all in the end zone. Incomplete. Penalty flag down.
With Bruce, the other side, I was looking at the right side, it was bump and run, then he backed off, and it was regular coverage. He recognized that and threw it downfield to Bruce.
And it's against the Raiders, going to be an illegal contact foul.
Illegal contact by the defense, number 48. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That again.
It's called against Najee Mustafa. This is after the contact allegedly had taken place.
And the ball was thrown over the top. He really didn't have much of an opportunity to make the catch either.
Hester is in there, J.T. Thomas. Now what they do is they split Hester and Wright to the right side. J.T. Thomas comes out to the left. Johnny Bailey's in there as well. That gives him a 4th good receiver.
Wing formation. Now they're putting in motion. Now it's a triple wing formation, meaning 3 receivers on one side.
And the big pressure from Aaron Wallace forced Miller to throw it away. Good blitz by Wallace.
Good call on the part of the coaches. And he doesn't have a chance to set up. He throws the ball wisely over the top. It's incomplete and avoided the sack. But Aaron Wallace got a great job on the blitz and got in there in a hurry.
Raiders have in there. Willie Broughton, Austin Robbins on the defensive line, and Aaron Wallace. Well, I called the blitz there, but you know, Aaron Wallace really playing at a defensive end spot, so he just got a good rush up from that defensive end spot. On 2nd down, Miller to Wright. Tackle made by Mustafa, the 5th reception by Alexander Wright, and he gets down to the 6-yard line.
Here we see Wright. Stops, delays, comes across, stops for the ball in the pocket, in the hole between the linebackers, and makes the catch. Good execution on the part of Miller and Wright.
7 seconds remaining in the first half. And let's see what the Rams are going to do here. They're going to set up for a field goal with 7 seconds to go, Hank. And they're going to kick it on 3rd down. They want to give themselves a chance just in case there's any mess up here on this play. They could call a timeout maybe and kick it over again if they need to.
There's always a chance for a fake field goal also.
23 yards.
They'll kick it, I'm sure.
And it's a 23-yard field goal. It is good. That's McLaughlin kicking it through. They have a lot of hope for him. You don't see many kickers get drafted as high as the round as McLaughlin did.
Although I think that used to be the trend that you didn't draft kickers. But with the kickers...
Field goal climax is a 9-play, 50-yard drive. He'll probably squib it here, I would think. And he does. It'll come up to one of the Raider up men, Andrew Glover, looking at it, and falls on it. With 1 second to play in the first half, Andrew Glover fielding that football for the Raiders. So the Raiders, who led at one point 14-3, have seen the Rams score twice since then. On a Miller to Isaac Bruce touchdown pass, and then McLaughlin's 23-yard field goal. And the Raider lead now is only 1 point at 14-13. Pass along our best wishes to Don Mosbar, who we understand will have a follow-up surgery now on Tuesday. Already had, of course, when his eye was poked at Dallas, and he underwent a 3.5 emergency surgery that day, which saved his sight. And now they'll have a follow-up surgery this week.
And talking to the coaches, they'd love to have him back and hope that he will be back. But the most important thing is that that eye isn't damaged so severely that it'll be a problem for him. That's what their main concern is.
Raiders sit on the football to bring the first half to an end. As Raider football has returned to Oakland, the fans give the Raiders a big cheer as they go into the locker room. 14-13, this is Raiders football. Well, back deep for the Raiders. It'll be Smith to get the second half underway at his own 5-yard line. And not much there for Al Smith. Penalty flag down, though. There's Al Smith, wide receiver with the Raiders. Take a look at the first half stats. Remember that wide edge the Raiders had at the end of one quarter of play? Well, that has disappeared in terms of the statistical story of the football game. The Rams now have an edge in total yards at 177 and 97, and first downs at 8-7.
Yeah, I think a couple of things that happen. You know, when you watch a game like this one in preseason, you know, you can be doing a lot of things very, very well. But if the specialty teams don't perform very well, it looks like on the way the whole team plays, you know what I mean? And the other thing about it is that, you know, if you want to find out who's going to make this roster, usually the third and fourth week, take a look at who's on the specialty teams, and those are the people who are basically going to make this squad.
Mike Bellamy has come in now to play wide receiver for the Raiders. He's wide left, Ty Montgomery wide right. Now Calvin Jones has come in for the Raiders at running back, and they split him out widest of all to the left. Raiders the second half, 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Vince Evans at quarterback. Quick drop, completion to Calvin Jones, and a short pickup. Tackle made by Davis.
And there again, that's a perfectly thrown ball. No way in the world the defensive back, even though he had him covered well, could do anything with this kind of a pass.
29 is Dexter Davis, a fifth-year player out of Clemson, looking to make the team as a backup corner to Anthony Parker.
He got a great break on the ball on that last pass.
2nd and 7 now for the Raiders. Calvin Jones out of Nebraska. And he cracks forward for a couple more. Calvin in his second year was a 3rd-round draft pick with the Raiders last year. Was active for the last 8 games and started to show some real signs that he could be a force for the Raiders. Cedric Figueroa making the tackle. All of those carries that you just saw from Calvin Jones taking place in the last 8 games of the season for the Raiders. Those 22 carries. Montgomery and Bellamy wide right. Evans to run. He's still in great condition. He's still got great legs. Look at Vince Evans. He's into the open. To the 25-yard line. Do you believe Vince Evans? A 52-yard run.
Superman, I tell you, he's
a remarkable athlete is Vince Evans. You know, this is one of the things, Hank, I've always said this is a guy who inspires his teammates.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 16 years in the league. Are you kidding? And look at the aggressive way he runs the football. Good vision. He runs like a halfback. But, of course, seeing him all these years, he's done that consistently and did it with his career with the Chicago Bears, as I mentioned. And here again, a great illustration of strong feeling of recognition that Al Davis had by picking him up when he did. A lot of people thought he was crazy.
Oh, yes. Calvin Jones with another short gain for the Raiders. Well, give him 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7. John Kirksey makes the tackle for St. Louis. Raiders leading 14-13.
Well, that was a big play. And that's the great thing about having a quarterback who has that kind of escapability skill. you know, that somehow, some way, you have to move the chain or drop it off, and rushing like they are, why, you got to take advantage of it. It sounds like a draw play with a running back.
Here's Calvin Jones, and he's tripped up. Stopped for no gain at the line of scrimmage, and Fred Stokes makes the tackle. A 9-year veteran, Stokes, still hanging around with the Rams.
He's another guy that's dances every dance, tries very, very hard, been a good football player in the league.
Good sack man. Knows how to get to the quarterback. Certainly you could see it 2 years ago when he had those 9.5 sacks for the Rams. Montgomery wide right. Here comes Mike Bellamy out to the left-hand side. Kevin Smith is in there at a tight end position on the left. One remaining back. Evans on 3rd and 7. He may run again. Well, he's got nowhere to run. And is brought down by DeMarco Farr. So the Rams have some of their front liners still in the ball game, including DeMarco Farr, who's a starting defensive tackle.
Yeah, I think they didn't feel very good about the game they played last week, and I think as a result they want to give their people more work and get more repetitions and smooth a lot of things out.
Well, I thought they were
into this game.
I thought they were pretty well dominated in that game a week ago by Seattle.
You know why you feel that way?
Was that what happened?
They were.
Oh. 41-yard field goal attempt here by Jaeger. And it's good. And gives the Raiders at least a bit of breathing room. Point advantage now. Jaeger kicks it through from 41. It's the Raiders 17, the St. Louis 13. This is Raiders football. Raiders now lead at 17-13 here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Oakland on top by 5. Jaeger has just booted 41-yard field goal, and Hankey's 3 for 3 now in the preseason.
Well, he's one of the great kickers in the league. You know, a lot of people, when they see a kicker like Jaeger, they think, well, that's all he's ever done in his life. But, you know, he's a five-sport letterman in high school: wrestling, football, basketball, baseball, golf, and I mentioned basketball. What a record that is, and what an indication of kind of athlete he is.
That's Carl Tremble with the kick return out to the 35-yard. Did you say wrestling?
Yeah,
Jeff Jaeger?
Yeah, he was a wrestler too.
Very good.
I tell you, those wrestlers, there's several of them on this team, but the wrestlers, I've never seen one that wasn't an excellent football player, because they have good leverage, good balance, can control the other bodies extremely well.
Here's a guy who's proven that he can do it in the past. Mark Rippon steps in as the backup quarterback this year with the Rams and puts the ball at the 35-yard line. That's Bostic getting the handoff, and he's out to the 38-yard line. Hank, let's talk a little bit about Rippon, if we might. 9th year, 32 years old. And you see his career numbers, which are pretty impressive. He had some very great years, of course, with the Washington. Some feel that he's fallen well off of that perch. Hank, do you have any reasons why?
No, it's hard to understand. You know, he hasn't. The year they were winning big, you know, the great thing about it is, I don't care how good your arm is, how far you can throw the ball, you better be accurate. And he did a terrific job of that during that stage of his career, but he hasn't been nearly as accurate throwing the football and consistently solid, and he's thrown too many interceptions.
That was a catchable ball that Jim Price could not hang on to. Price, the 3rd tight end for the Rams.
3-step drop, throw the ball quickly to the outside.
Dan Land on the coverage there. 5 years ago, when the Raiders played that preseason game here in Oakland, Land had a big interception that day.
See, that ball was thrown behind the receiver, and as a result, didn't have much of a chance to catch it.
Austin Robbins nearly trips up Rippon, who stepped out of that near sack and threw the ball away. And it was a quick 3 and out for Mark Rippon and the St. Louis Rams. Rippon, the Super Bowl 26 most valuable player.
And what a fantastic year he had there with
man.
Joe Gibbs.
Rams now will give Bill Kushner an opportunity to punt the football. Sean Landeta is their regular punter. And this is Philip Bogle back to get it for the Raiders. He lets the ball bounce. It takes a sideways hop for the Rams and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A 61-yard. And Kushner, who probably won't get a job with the Rams, may have at least found himself a job with some team somewhere with that punt. Raiders lead it by 4. This is Raiders football. Raider preseason football is being brought to you by your California Jeep and Eagle dealers, and by cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. All right, watch what John Herpin does to Herman O'Berry here.
Yeah, he pushes him in, and look at it. Looked like Vince Evans over there gave him a little trip shot too on the sideline. Pretty good thinking.
Raiders standing in the shadow of their own goalpost with the ball at the 1-yard line. Calvin Jones trying to inch the ball out a little bit, and he does. Gets him a little breathing space.
It looked, see how deep he was back there in the set position. It looked like he was way deeper than he should have been. It looked like he was closer to 8 or 9 yards when it basically should be 7. Takes a long time to get to the line of scrimmage, especially when you're on your own 1-yard line.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Williams made the tackle. Raiders have been known deep. They've been known to go deep from this situation, deep in their own territory. Evans will throw one quickly here, and that's complete, and a little bit more breathing space. That one complete to Mike Bellamy. Bellamy is a second-year player out of Illinois. He's been around, certainly. Bellamy was with Philadelphia back in 1990, then with Winnipeg in the Canadian Football League in 1993, and with Frankfurt in the World League this year. Hank, what do you think about developmental players, or players getting some development in the World League?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's terrific to get an opportunity to express that talent and get an opportunity to use that experience dramatically when they get into back with their respective teams.
On 3rd and 5, incomplete, just off the fingertips of Ty Montgomery. I thought Evans laid it out there beautifully for him.
He did. That ball should have been caught.
Oh, that would have been a big bailout play for the Raiders.
Yeah, there's no way in the world that he shouldn't have caught that ball. But as you watch him look back for the ball, it looks like his fingers and hands were very tense. Did you notice that?
Look at Vince now, boy. He's jumping up and down, working out some of that tenseness. Here's Brantley back for the punt. He's going to field it at the 45. And somehow manages to get about 5 or 6, meanwhile 7 yards out of it, down to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, a lot of missed tackles on that return.
So the Rams are in good
players
field
were not in a good hitting position.
Raiders lead at 17-13 here in the 3rd quarter. This is Raiders football. That the telecast in whole or in part may not be broadcast or rebroadcast without the express written permission of the National Football League and the Oakland Raiders. So if you do that, you're doing very wrong. Well, the Rams now with the ball at the market just inside the 40-yard line. This is Mark Rippon at quarterback. Fakes the handoff to Bostic, and he's got a wide open Jim Price in front. Drops it. There's not a hole big enough for Price to crawl in right now. Oh,
You talk about a guy that's open and should have caught the ball. Watch this.
Oh, man.
Hits it right in the numbers. He might, you know, when you miss a ball like that, number one, he's trying to use his body instead of using his hands. It hits the shoulder pad and bounces out. Plus the fact that the hand should have been with the thumbs down, making.
This is Boston, brought down by Morton at the 35-yard line, a gain of 5 yards. I think we should remember, too, that this switch in field position, Hank, was set up by originally that 61-yard punt that put the Raiders down on the 1-yard line.
Right.
When they couldn't get a first down out of there, they've made it difficult.
Yeah, you get stuck in the goulash on the 1-yard line. You got to get something
that's big,
very big,
goulash.
very big to get out of that slot.
Third and 5. Boston. Nowhere. Austin Robbins was the man who hit him first. He wears number 95. And Anthony Smith, number 94. Anthony Smith, full of quickness and ability. And really a guy who can get to that quarterback, as he's shown, that time stopping the run. But Anthony is a guy who had 12.5 sacks 2 years last year. Magnificent talent.
He's got, yeah, he looks like somebody you'd order out of the Sears Roebuck catalog. You know, he's exactly what you're looking for. And he's got terrific speed and quickness. And going to be interesting to see what kind of season he's going to have this year.
Well, let's see how Bill Kushner, the punter, does this time from short distance. This one at the 35-yard line. They'll try to hang it up and put it inside the 10 again if he can. But this one goes into the end zone. And the Raiders, well, will take over at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Raiders leading at 17-13. We are in the third quarter. There you're looking at Vince Evans, who just had a 52-yard run not long ago to set up that Raider field goal. I want to bring to your attention, in case you didn't hear, or again amplifying what Hank was telling you about earlier, about the fact that 3,000 additional season seats are going to be made available here at the Oakland Coliseum for this year. That's this year, not here now, and this is going to allow for an expanded capacity of the Coliseum to approximately 53,000. So for information on that, call 1-800-4, the number 4, F-O-R-T-I-X, 4 for tickets. All right, from the 20 now. Raiders have the football. Here's Calvin Jones. He's got some running room this time. Breaks to the outside, and Calvin's off and running. Across midfield. Out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Wes Bender with a big play and a 31-yard pickup for Calvin Jones.
Well, you talk about getting into the cavity very quickly. Look at this now. Look at this. Look at Bender make the block out in front. He makes a move, sees the hole, jumps to the outside. This is the first time in 2 years that I've seen him where he's had an opportunity to make that kind of a run. He's a terrific prospect and did a great job for the University of Nebraska.
Hank, we may want to talk about the numbers at running back this year, because the Raiders have got some real talent. They've just really upgraded their running back position this year. Here's Evans. Nice play fake by Vince. He's got a completion to Bellamy and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Behind Figueroa, in front of Davis, and the Raiders have another first down.
You know, the nice thing about the way Evans throws the football, it gets there in a hurry. Boy, the RPMs of that ball are tremendous.
Boy, did he get Dexter Davis turned around on that play. 18 yards on the pass completion for the Raiders. High formation. That's Bender out in front of Napoleon Kaufman this time. Bellamy right, Bellamy left, Montgomery right. Here's Kaufman. Dodges the attempted tackle of Fred Stokes, but then runs into Homko, and that was all she wrote.
And that was kind of a counter play to a degree, a quick one. The fullback hits up the middle to protect the inside, and the halfback tries to go off tackle with the guard pulling. They got some leakage on a play, and anytime you get penetration on that kind of a play, hey, school's out. You're not going to make.
That's kind of a Joe Bugle hallmark, though, isn't it, that counter?
Well, it isn't the same kind of counter play that they ran at Washington. This is really probably a misnomer when I said that it was a counter play. It was just a split backfield crossfire shot.
2nd and 10, the completion to Kevin Smith. He's got a Raider first down. Down to the 20-yard line. Figueroa making the tackle along with Honko, who gets up off the bottom of the pile. Nice pickup for Kevin Smith, his second grab. This one good for 12 yards. Earlier he scored a touchdown for the Raiders.
Here you see Vince back in the pocket, holds the ball nice and high, gets it up over the top, and there's the catch. Does a good job of running with the football once he makes that reception.
Evans on target today, 5 out of 6. Raiders put both wide receivers to the left. Calvin Jones stopped after a very short gain, if any. Ricky Newbill making the tackle. Newbill, 6th-year pro out of Miami. Newbill backing up Carlos Jenkins at that linebacker position. Calvin Jones comes out wide left. They put Bellamy in the slot to the left. Montgomery wide right. That leaves only Wes Bennett in the backfield now. Looked like Evans wanted to run a quick quarterback draw, and nothing opened up for him. He was dropped immediately. Kirksey.
Talking to the coaches, they talked about the utilization of a lot of formations in this game. We've seen an awful lot of them, and trying to take advantage of different alignments in their backfield to take care of personnel. Kate did in a hurry, didn't it?
It sure did. That makes it 3rd and 11. 3 wideouts. Montgomery and Bellamy go wide left.
Blitz up the middle.
Evans unloads it quickly, but Kaufman is brought down just as quickly after a very short gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 10 and another field goal situation for Jeff Jaeger.
Yeah, that was a double blitz, one up the middle and also one on the outside. Evans, being in the league as long as he has, was able to anticipate the blitz, read it carefully and very well, but he had to get rid of the ball quickly or else it would have been a sack.
Now Jaeger will try to make his 4th consecutive field goal of the preseason. Gossett will hold at the 28-yard line. It's a 38-yard attempt by Jaeger, and it is good.
You talk about a radar shot. That was it, wasn't it? And I tell you, he kicks that ball through there like it's got eyes.
And the Raiders now lead it by 7, 20-13. This is Raiders football. The big play was Calvin Jones, 31. That's right.
And Bender made a nice block on that run.
Fenner, Harvey Williams. Well, I'm just, what, you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it?
10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anytime.
The Raider field goal set up by the 31-yard run of this man right here, Calvin Jones. And he's a very happy guy. Raiders really got the talent there at running back. A lot of people there, Hank.
Well, you need a lot of folks at that because, you know, it's so easy for somebody to get knocked out with some kind of an injury. The nice thing about it is this is a terrific array of running backs and a mixture of bigger guys and also lightning guys.
This is J.T. Thomas. Let's see if the Raiders do a better job in special teams this time. Well, no, Thomas is going to get the ball out to the 32-yard line. Raiders will need to work this week on shoring up their kick coverage and their punt coverage as well. We're going to take a quick break here with the Raiders leading by 7, 20-13. This is Raiders football. Rich Marotta along with Hank Stram. Thanks for being with us on our coverage of Raider preseason football. Raiders big winners last week over Dallas, 27-14. Finding it going a little tougher today, although they do lead St. Louis 20-13.
And that's good for them, really, as a team, because they're not going to breeze through the schedule like the schedule they have. So you got to be able to fight your way through those tough times and still somehow, some way, find a way to win.
Now with his first carry of the day is Cleveland Gary, left side. Gary picking up 2 yards. Cleveland Gary, a talent himself. You know, we talked about the Raider running back situation, but the Rams have a good variety of running backs. When you take a look at Jerome Bettis, then Leonard Russell, and Cleveland Gary right now running 13.
Yeah, and I've always liked Gary. He got himself in trouble a little bit with fumbles, I guess, sometime during his career with the Rams, and as a result, has never really had the opportunity to do as much as he really can. He's a good-looking back.
Jesse Hester, right? And a throw over in that direction, and it's an incomplete pass thrown by Mark Rippon. Bad pass by Rippon. It hit the dirt in front of Hester. Rams last year finished the season with 7 straight defeats, and they just would crumble in the second halves of games. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. They only scored 107 points in the second half of games, and that's for the whole season. That was the worst mark in the NFL. 3rd and 8 from the 34.
4-man rush. Good outside rush on the right side, but he's still no penetration. Coverage was there with regard to the zone.
But the pass was completed nonetheless to Yanni Jackson. Keep control of the ball. Raider territory now at the 48. Rippon to Cleveland Gary. Well, he finds a hole off left tackle. Bursts through down to the 30-yard line. I saw penalty flags scored out. And it's going to be a holding call, I believe, against the Rams. And they're going to have to bring it back. Boy, that's going to nullify a really nice run by Cleveland Gary. Chris Crooms bringing him down.
And Chuck Bellin, the left guard, did a good job of pulling to his right, throwing a block, and providing running room that time from Gary. For Gary.
On the offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
69 is Jess James. And that's put a few gray hairs on Rich Brooks' head. Gary was originally a first-round draft pick with the Rams back in 1989. Here's look at Jesse as he goes up to the line of scrimmage, still shaking his head. He didn't want to look Cleveland Gary in the eye after that one. Rippon throwing downfield. He's got a wide open Johnny Bailey's got the ball. He can get up and run. Now he's finally touched and stopped at the 25-yard line. Bailey wrestled to the ground by Folston.
Bailey that time, you know, looked like he didn't realize immediately that if he hits the deck, he can jump right back up and keep running. He delayed long enough for he didn't have a chance to do that. Watch it. Bad fake. Ball into the accepting area of the back. Makes the catch. He gets hit. He lays there just a little. Now he starts trying to get up, and it's too late.
Crooms brings him down. That's a 33-yard pickup on that play. And all those running backs I mentioned, I did not mention Johnny Bailey, a very dangerous guy, especially in third down situations for the Rams. We have reached the end of the third quarter of play with the score, the Oakland Raiders 20, the St. Louis Rams 13. This is Raiders football. Tape this. Come on. Oh, God. Tape this. Oh.
They got a truck outside waiting for him. There's a white one.
Are you... Can I see your flip card for a second? Ready now to start the fourth quarter of play with the Raiders on top 20-13. The Rams have the ball at the Raider 25-yard line. 1st and 10. Raiders on top by 7, but the Rams threatening to tie or perhaps go out in front. Don't forget the 2-point conversion. That's J.T. Thomas in motion left to right. Jesse Hester is wide left. Rippon, quick pass over the middle. He's got his man, and this time Jim Price hangs on.
And Rippon, I guarantee you, he sees something. He sees it very quickly. Got rid of the ball that time nicely. And it was a great expression of the kind of experience he has.
That was the old-time Mark Rippon pass. He really fired that one.
Yes, he did.
Hank, and now we take a look at the statistics through the game. Very even, really. Look at the total yards. 240 for the Rams, 230 for the Raiders. Rippon beginning to pick it up now, throwing better. They've reached the Raiders' 8-yard line. First and goal. Cleveland Gary. Pickup of about 2 off the right side. Austin Robbins and Dan Land combined on the tackle for the Raiders.
Yeah, you know, in all defense of Rippon, you know, the last few years he's been a yo-yo quarterback, you know, up and down, up and down, up and down. Never got a chance to play extended period of time at one time. So it disturbs your confidence, and plus the fact that it doesn't give you the feel and the rhythm and the timing that you have when you're playing all the time like you used to play as a regular.
Second and goal from the 6. They line Price up now as an H-back in this formation. Hester wide right, J.T. Thomas wide left. Rippon going to swing it out to Gary. Makes a one-handed grab and he's down to the 4-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds there. It was Rob Holmberg making the tackle. Holmberg, second year out of Penn State.
And Holmberg makes the tackle, number 57. And a nice catch, one-handed catch.
They reeled that one in real nice, Hank, and it's third down now. Thomas and Brantley go to the right side. Hester wide left. Gary the only remaining back. Rip into the air, too high for J.T. Thomas. Anthony Smith providing the pressure on Rippon, and the Rams will go for 3.
Watch Anthony come in here on the rush. He still was able to, it didn't hurt the delivery at all, but that's typical on a crossing pattern. If you're going to hit a guy, you better hit him at the numbers, because once he has to jump up in the air in that middle, it's tough. It's just thrown too high.
Now McLaughlin, who's looked so good here in the preseason, will attempt a 22-yard field goal. A line drive kick by McLaughlin is good, and the Rams crawl a little closer once again. 13 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the ball game. It's the Raiders 20, St. Louis 16. This is Raiders football. Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. And by Volkswagen. In life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. All right, the Rams are about to kick off now after McLaughlin's 22-yard field goal, climaxing a 9-play, 64-yard drive, the key play of which was the 33-yard Rippon to Johnny Bailey pass. Here's McLaughlin's kick. He fielded by Al Smith at the 9-yard line. Looking for running room, and he does not find any. Brought down at the 22-yard line.
Too much hesitation on that return.
Not playing today for the Rams, Jackie Slater. There you see he's got his head turned. Jackie with an elbow injury, still wants to play. Has played 20 years in the NFL. What a great player.
Oh, he's terrific. And of course, he's doing a little mentoring on the sideline, helping the coaching staff, and he certainly could make a contribution in that area too.
He's got to be the biggest coach in the NFL. you tend to listen to a guy that big.
Yeah, that's right. You just keep saying yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
First and 10 for the Raiders at the 22-yard line. Vince Evans stays at quarterback. Philip Bobo is wide right. Ty Montgomery to the other side. The pass over the middle to Kevin Smith, his third grab of the day. Kevin Smith has a nice pickup for the Raiders on first down. That's a good first down cash in by the Raiders. They get about 7-8 yards out of that and set themselves up in a little better position.
Yeah, that play action pass that time, and somebody came free on the outside, looked like a linebacker. But Vince, here it is. You see it right there in the picture. He's lucky he was able to get rid of the ball that well, and I think it's an illustration again of the experience and the knowledge that that was going to happen when he saw him rushing.
Just inside the 30. Second down for the Raiders. Out of the I formation this time. Napoleon Kaufman, as he's trying to cut to the outside, slips and falls. Hank, I want to talk to you here, if we can, about the development aspect of a football team at this point now in the preseason, as opposed to winning and pleasing all these fans here today. The Raiders wanted the development of their team to continue at this point.
And that's the expression, talking to the coaches today, that they conveyed to me, was the fact that they certainly would like to win the game, but that's not the top priority. They want to win the game, but they basically want to see a lot of people. They want to execute well, get better and better each week. If they win in the process, that's great, but they got to improve each week. First week, and then the second week, you ought to be 2 times better. The next week, 3 times better.
Different looking formation by the Raiders this time, and the passes to Bobo. He's got it. He's out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And we may have to start looking after that 17-yard pickup and that touchdown we saw a week ago from Philip Bobo, as Philip Bobo is a guy who could work himself into the equation.
So you got Single on the outside. And he makes a good inside move, and back outside gets knocked out of bounds, but pick up and a nice gain on the play by Bobo.
Evans is 8 of 9 so far passing. The ageless wonder. Calvin Jones. Short gain off the left side. 2 yards for Calvin Jones. Will bring up 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at the 46-yard line. A.C. Caswell checks into the lineup now for Oakland. Sean Foster goes out.
Mellon at the right guard that time, pulling to his left. He was a little high when he made contact, but he was trying to throw a block on the outside on that play.
Melander wears number 73, 6'7", 295. He started 15 games for Denver last year. Another newcomer to the Raiders. They brought 2 players here from the Broncos. Russell Freeman also on the offensive line. Evans is going to throw it downfield. He's got a man. It's complete. A.C. Caswell makes the catch. Great job of hanging on by Caswell after he was hit hard. A 24-yard gain. Evans to Caswell.
But here again, look at Evans stay in the pocket. Caswell coming up down the field. Now watch this, raise his hand up so they can see him. Ball was thrown right out in front again. Had he thrown that ball low or up above the helmet, he never would have been able to make that catch. It was thrown right exactly where it had to be thrown in traffic.
At the 29, Calvin Jones. Straight ahead. Good surge by that time up front. And Jones was able to get the nose of the football head for a good gain, but it looks as though there's a penalty flag down. Well, still waiting for some announcement here on the penalty call.
Offsides by the defense. Number 94 up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
So that brings the Raiders into a situation now where they will have 1st and 5 after the offside penalty against Ernest Jones. Raiders looking to drive in and really get themselves in control of the football game now. They lead it by 4.
One-on-one coverage on the outside left. Look, he's changing the play. See what happens. Oh, he's going right with it.
That's where Bobo is. Bobo trying to get open. He can't yet. Evans now flips it down there and just throws it away. And there's a penalty marker well downfield.
See, no illegal contact.
That's a nice thing again, being able to run with the football as a quarterback. And here he is desperately trying to get open on the play. and almost looked like pass interference on the part of the defensive back who grabbed his arm in the process of trying to cover it.
Brings them a 2nd and 5. Here's Smith wide right. Goes out there with Sean Foster. Philip Bobo goes wide left. Calvin Jones in the backfield along with Wes Bender. Jones. Good hold. To the 10. Into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. 24 yards.
He's showing today why he was such a great back at Nebraska. Well, I tell you, this kid looked impressive a year ago. Didn't get a chance to do much, but he's a terrific-looking football player, I'll tell you that. Here we see it again. Say he's supposed to go inside, but he sees the cavity, jumps outside very quickly. No hesitation, no indecision whatsoever. He took it right on the move and went right in there for the touchdown.
Pick is up and good. Last week it was Harvey Williams and Napoleon Kaufman. This week Calvin Jones. Raiders doing it on the ground again. They lead 27-16. This is Raiders football. Oh, okay. Fans here are standing around the Oakland Coliseum and roaring as J.T. Thomas fields that kickoff for the Rams, and he's off to the races. To the 30, being chased, pushed out of bounds, finally inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line, and we have identified apparently an Achilles heel for the Raiders here today in terms of their kick coverage. 74 yards.
Yeah, you have to be as a coaching staff very disappointed in the way this coverage has been throughout this game from a specialty standpoint. There's 3 ways to win a game with offense, defense, and especially teams. And if you're not careful, especially teams can lose or win a game. Here it is again. Right down the sideline. Didn't look like we had very good attempt to make a tackle on that sideline.
You got a tremendous block from Carl Tremble, who was the other kick returner there to spring him up the left sideline. It's first down at the 15-yard line. That's Brantley in motion. Cleveland Gary gets the handoff from Tommy Maddox, who's just checked into the game now at quarterback for the Rams. There's Tommy Maddox, 6'4", 205, his 4th year now out of UCLA. Played last week, played pretty well in the second half of that game against Seattle, completing 14 of 23.
Yeah, he played some, as everybody knows, for the Denver Broncos, and came out of UCLA. They expected him to be a very good prospect. They were disappointed in the way he progressed or didn't progress, and the Rams have him, and he played very well last week.
Gives the ball to Gary's in trouble, tripped up in the backfield. Aaron Wallace was the first man to hit him in the backfield, and then James Falston finished him off. You know, with Tommy Maddox, there's a feeling of some, Hank, that maybe this was one guy who shouldn't have come out of college as early as he did. Well, maybe he really wasn't ready.
Well, there again, that's going to happen. If you leave prematurely and you don't do it, then they say, well, he should have stayed in college for another 2 years, whatever the situation might be. You know? But a lot of it is dependent on the opportunity. You know, you got a guy like Elway playing in front of you. You're not going to get a chance to milk the cow very often.
Right. It is 3rd and 8 for the Rams, and timeout now called by the Rams. Maddox wants to go over and talk things over with the Rams brass along the sideline. We have 7:16 to go in the ball game, and a critical play coming up here for the St. Louis Rams. Raiders on top, 27-16. This is Raiders football. Now as the Rams come up, 3rd down and 8. Raider blitz. Maddox in trouble. Throws incomplete. Raiders came with a full blitz up the middle there, Hank, and Maddox had to unload. Intended for Jim Price.
Yes, and Andre Bruce was in the middle. Usually he's outside and it changes position. He's been a linebacker, a little bit of everything, but he played in the middle that time on that last play.
So now the Rams will set up for a field goal, which, if good by McLaughlin, could bring them to within 7 points once again. McLaughlin is 3 for 3 today. This one is from 32 yards out, which would be the longest that he's booted this afternoon. Maddox will hold. McLaughlin's kick is up. He missed it. No good. Well, that's a big miss. A big miss. He makes that one. They're back within 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that's right. And it's points again. So, but in this game, we take a look at the hold on the replay. Let's see the hold. Yeah. You really got to be a magician to get the ball off the on that kind of a play.
The ball was facing the wrong way there.
That's right. He was headed upside down.
Well, I said it would bring them within 7, but actually it would have brought them within 8. But in the era of the 2-point conversion, of course, that still brings you within 1 touchdown.
It's a great thing about the 2-point conversion, that in that situation, when you're down by 8, you still got a chance.
Raiders have Russell Freeman in there. They bring him in now on the offensive line, get him some playing time, and he's right next to his old former Denver Bronco teammate John Marotta. They make up the right side of that Raider offensive line. Barrett Robbins is the center as Vince Evans fades the pass. Raiders aren't done. They want more. Intended for A.C. Caswell.
And he had a chance that time. It was a bit too long. And that sometimes happens, when you have a fast guy on the outside. You want to make sure that you get the ball to him, and you try to put a little bit more mustard on it, and sometimes you overthrow it. But if you're going to be wrong, better to be wrong long than short, because if you're short, always a chance for the interception.
And 9 of 12 passing for Evans that you just saw is complemented by his 51-yard run that he ripped off in the last quarter as well. Draw. Straight up the middle. This is good yardage. Eric Ball, formerly of UCLA. Here's a guy who came into the NFL back in 1989 as a number 2 draft pick with Cincinnati after a very fine career at UCLA, and as a rookie gained just about 400 yards, but then each year it went down and down, and he comes to the Raiders this year. Last year he was mostly a kick returner. Comes to the Raiders this year trying to stick as a free agent.
So far in this game, before this drive, they ran the ball 20 times for 180 yards, 9-yard average.
Wow.
They came into the game with the idea they wanted to throw the ball. They've thrown the ball for 159 yards.
And that completion to Sean Foster, Hank, will get the Raiders a first down. Evans to Foster.
But again, the big thing is, there doesn't make any difference how you move the ball and how you win the game. Here we see Foster.
That's Michael Stonebreaker on the tackle.
His daddy was a great player for the New Orleans Saints, as you know.
Raiders move the ball up to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10. They can keep that clock moving now. Evans looking for room to run. No lane this time for him, and he stopped after a gain of maybe a half a yard.
Dan Turk, the center, did a good job in the first early part of the game. And, of course, now we got Robbins in the game, a young center from TCU, 4-letter winner there. And also along with it, why he was a baseball player. Guess what he played?
Barrett Robbins?
Pardon?
What was he?
We're talking about Robbins, and Robbins, 4-year letterman at TCU, and also played baseball. And guess what he was? He was supposed to be a catcher, but he was a backstop.
He looks like a catcher. That was incomplete. You saw Bob Golick there on the sidelines, a former Raider, just a few moments ago. I don't think I ever saw Golick without a smile on his face, except the day that he had to leave the Coliseum the last time when he knew he wasn't going to be playing anymore. This guy to play football, and what a character.
Yeah, he was. He's a terrific guy. I haven't seen him without a suit strainer before. I guess it's starting to grow it back in.
Oh, he's going to be a network analyst.
That's right.
Yeah, so he's spiffing up a little.
Yeah.
See if they let him have that hair. Raiders now on 3rd and 10. Evans going to go straight up the middle. And he's not going to get to the point where he needed to for the first down. He had to get to the 47, tackled at the 45. Got company come on now to try the punt.
We don't want it. There he goes. A rush from the outside is very severe, but he jumps up into the pocket. He cannot throw the ball, so the next best thing, he runs with it in an effort to make the first down, but he didn't quite make it.
And on this beautiful day in the Bay Area, Jeff Gossett getting ready to punt.
What's a good drop he gets? See how smooth, how flat that ball is? That's the key to being a great punter. And that's why he does such a great job.
And look at this time, the coverage is there for the Raiders. After that 40-yard punt, big-time coverage for the Raiders. They got down very quickly, and Herman O'Berry had nowhere to go.
I'm sure the coaches of the Raiders have massaged their ears a little bit, the specialty teams, about coverage, and they responded very well with the way they played that last one.
Yes, Carl Kidd was the man who made the tackle. 4:01 to go, and the Rams are running out of time. Raiders were able to eat up about 3.5 minutes on the clock with the last time they had the football. So the Rams are going to have to do something quick here, trailing by 11.
Illegal formation against the offense. Number 46 was not on the line of scrimmage. 6 on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Oh, he's terrific. But again, look how consistently well he drops the ball. That's really the key. And of course, he makes good contact, hits a sweet spot, and has great follow through. And of course, he's 6'3", so he.
Herman O'Berry back again to field the punt. This time runs up to the 24-yard line to get it. And there he goes. And it's another big return for the Rams. And this one could go all the way unless he can be chased down from behind, and he was. The Raiders' kick and punt coverage today has just been disastrous. A 35-yard punt and 51-yard return by O'Berry.
Before the return, they have given up 172 yards on kick returns so far in the game.
We'll tack on another 51 on that one.
Yeah, that's right. Makes it 223.
Herman O'Berry finally brought down by Chris Crooms, showing good speed there, but still, boy, the Raiders are allowing the Rams to just have great field position with the special teams breakdowns. Of course, we must say in the preseason, you're changing up a lot of guys on your special teams, trying to give a lot of people an opportunity.
One thing about preseason and this kind of a problem,
Maddox, completed pass all the way down to the 1-yard line. It was Turhan O'Bannon making the reception and a big gain, and the Rams are right on the doorstep.
As I started to say, in this kind of a game, if one phase of your game deteriorates a little bit like the specialty teams have here this afternoon, why, at least you got something to squeak about when you get back to camp. They can't get over the confidence. So that, from that standpoint, is good.
James Bostic into the lineup now for the Rams.
Looks like they're going right.
Along with number 30, Wolfley. This is Bostic running behind Wolfley. And the Raiders' defensive left side did a great job.
Got the ball.
They're marking it dead, though. Marking it dead. Halfway down the field already. But it doesn't count. But they did do a good job, regardless of that, Hank, of stacking that play up.
Yeah, they certainly did. And King thought he had a chance to run over the touchdown.
Joe King making the slow walk back. King played well last week for the Raiders in Dallas. He's 4th year out of Oklahoma.
He's a tough kid, I'll tell you that.
So now it is 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Wolfley is the fullback, Bostic in the tail of the eye. Brooks in motion. Maddox wants to throw. Touchdown Rams, Jim Price. And the Rams crawl even closer. They move within 5 points.
I tell you one thing about this Ram team, they've hung in there tough. They've stayed in the game. We see that touchdown again. Action fake. Very poor fake. Comes across from right to left. And there he makes the catch into the end zone for the touchdown.
Now, Hank, it figures they're 5 points behind here. They're going to, I would think, go for 2 here to try to get within a field goal. And as you can see, last year, Hank, 51% of the 2-point attempts were good.
Yeah, and they tried them 11% of the time last year.
Well, what do you do in this situation? Let's see here. on a two-point conversion attempt by the Rams. Maddox at quarterback. Chahan O'Bannon is out wide to the left. He throws over the middle. It is complete. It is a good two-point conversion. Johnson with the reception. Penalty flag, however, is down.
And usually in that situation, the defensive backs are up there so tight, you want to stretch the defense in the end zone. You got 10 extra yards. You're trying to get the ball away from all that traffic and get it in the end of the end zone by the goalpost. And
pass interference against the offense, number 49. The 10-yard penalty will repeat the try.
That's Yanni Jackson, the man who caught the football.
This is, if you can say that, is they got a lot more room to throw the ball.
That's J.T. Thomas in motion.
Blitz.
And a sack. Mike Morton gets to Maddox, and Morton brings down Tommy Maddox.
I tell you, he timed the rhythm of the count precisely right. Nobody touched him, got into the gap, and made the sack on the quarterback. What a big play. And Morton has made some good plays here in this game this afternoon.
Yes, he has. So, but the Rams are still within range of 5 points and 2:27 remaining. Stay tuned. This is Raiders football. For an onside kick here. Raiders are up by 5 points. And now the Raiders are calling timeout. The Raiders apparently were not ready for an onside kick by the Rams.
Well, they're going to get their hands team in there now and make it a change, I would guess.
This gives me an opportunity, Hank, to remind fans, if you want to be part of this action this year here at the Oakland Coliseum, you still have the ability to, despite the fact that there was that big rush for the personal seat licenses. Revised Oakland Coliseum modernization plans are now going to be allowing more seating to be available this year than originally expected. So approximately 3,000 additional seats will be available, and PSL applications are available through the Coliseum box office and marketing assistance.
People in the parking lot walked in. When'd you come in? They said, well, yesterday.
That was some atmosphere out of the parking lot.
Great.
Oh, the Raider buses drove up. That was really something. And the Raiders recover the onside kick. Nicely done. The Raiders got the people out there that they wanted. And it was Sean Foster, the man who very sure-handedly got that football.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, get the hands out there. Talking about the fans in the parking lot, they were a lot of fun. I don't think they knew who they were.
Well, they only need to know who the players are out there.
There it is. But he takes a nice bounce. Boy, you talk about a nice bounce. That's the way the shortstop would love to see balls coming in.
All right, now it's 27-22. Hank, there's 2:24 to go. That's too long to just, you can't run out the time. The Rams have got 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
The way they've been running the ball, though, they might look at the left side. Man, if they run left, they're going to the other side.
Calvin Jones.
Boy, they had a big hole on the left side. They went right and in. But the way I was starting to say, the way they run the ball, why they keep making first downs and moving to change, well, let's take a lot of time off that clock.
Well,
but if they don't, then of course the Rams are going to be still in the game, very definitely.
And the Rams have the timeout now after that short game by Calvin Jones. They like to stop it before that 2-minute warning. They don't want to.
Makes the adrenaline go flow a little stronger.
2nd and 8. They could use that roar right now. Evans on the move. Incomplete. Tried to get the ball to Kevin Smith, who's had a nice day today. McBurrow's breaking up the excellent defense. He played it very well. And that brings up 3rd down now, and that stopped the clock. Did not have to utilize a timeout.
No, that's right. They give it a little help there. And we keep talking about fans, and I've heard Al Davis say many, many times that we didn't have any kind of any misgivings at all with regard to the fans in Los Angeles. The problem we had with the structure in the stadium.
42-yard line, 3rd down for the Raiders, 3rd and 8. Rams showing blitz. They do blitz, but the completion to Foster. He's down to the 35-yard line. He's going to be short of the 1st down.
There again, the receiver on the left side, one-on-one, had a lot of room, a big cushion by the corner, but he had to get rid of it quickly and didn't get enough yardage for the 1st down.
All right. we have reached the 2-minute warning, and this one is far from over. It's the Raiders 27, the Rams 22. This is Raiders football. Situation.
Right.
All right, we're at the 2-minute mark, and here we go. The Raiders are going to go to a triple tight end formation. Big jumbo offensive line by the Raiders, and Wes Bender brought in to block. Calvin Jones will probably get the football here. Jones does get it. Surges straight forward. First down, Raiders.
A lot of folks over there. But that's, there again, they can relate to that experience, and it'll be very beneficial to them. A lot of people, you don't realize that's what's going on, but the coaches are trying to formulate as many situations that they'll have in this as the season goes along. Here he is, he's in a deep position, lowers the shoulder, keeps the leg driving, and moves the pile back. Very good run, very good job on the play.
You see the clock running. It's down to 1:23 now. The Rams still have one time remaining.
Oh, look at that left side. Run left.
That's what Calvin Jones is going to do, and he slipped and fell. He slipped and fell as he was trying to head over into that area.
Oh, man, he had a big hole over in that left side.
Pascal Davis
to the left side.
Pascal Davis is number 55, and he comes in quickly. Watch the linebacker.
Watch the blitz. See, he's coming. Nobody touched him. And before he has a chance to make that move to the outside, why, that was a great reaction on the part of the linebacker.
Now it is 2nd and 12. The Rams will try to stop the Raiders on this play and then call timeout.
They haven't thrown a screen at all in this game. But the way they're playing, a screen might be a big play.
That's Joe Aska getting the ball for the Raiders. Stonebreaker brings him down.
And here again, this is the teaching process. They want to bang it, blow it, sledgehammer it, and use that kind of an approach so they can use that later in the season.
Well, they called offside against the Rams on the play. 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. Raiders 27, St. Louis 22. Rich Brooks trying to deal with this preseason losing streak of the Rams, which has reached 10 games, and last year they closed the season with 7 straight losses. The Rams have seen their win total the last 3 years go from 6 games to 5 games down to 4 games last year.
Well, that's tough. I don't care who the coach is, that's a tough situation.
Very lean years for the Rams lately.
Well, the talent level dipped tremendously.
Here's the defense, number 53, 5-yard penalty.
And that's what happened.
They haven't won a game in the preseason since '92. Their last win was against the Raiders, but Raiders have beaten them in each of the last 2 years in Anaheim in the preseason. And now threatening to do the same here in Oakland.
And of course the Rams, for an extended period of time, Chuck Knox was the coach, and there's nobody better. He's done a terrific job. But again, I don't care who the coach is. If you don't have the people and you have a lot of injuries, well, those things are going to happen.
Now it becomes 2nd and 7 for the Raiders with 20 seconds to go in the ball game. Raiders lead 27-22. Raiders about to go 2-0. It'll be a popular win for the Raiders, but not a straight A report card today. Especially not with that special teams play the way that it was.
Well, there again, you don't want everything to be perfect, yet nothing to squeak about. At least they got, during this period of time, they got something to chew them out about.
Check out this formation as Vince Evans goes to a knee, and that'll wrap things up. As the clock begins to count down. So the Raiders return to Oakland as a home team. A successful day this afternoon here at the Oakland-Alameda County Coliseum. On a beautiful sunny day in the Bay Area, the Oakland Raiders return with a 27-2 win over the St. Louis Rams. There'll be plenty more to celebrate, I'm sure these fans feel, here in Oakland this year. We'll be back to wrap things up from the Oakland Coliseum in just a moment.